Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy Ewer, or if you're new, welcome. I'm Amy, and I am a previous MLM hun. I would say I did get to the top maybe 3% of Beachbody, and then also was in Prove It. And many years ago, I didn't even realize this, I was in Primerica. And then also I have tried every MLM product out there, mostly around weight loss. So that's really the goal of my channel, is to look at the different ways that multi-level marketing will manipulate you, not only when it comes to your health, but your wellness overall, your mental state, emotional, spiritual, financial. They get you in every way. The interesting thing to me, so for my focus, I really want to focus a lot more on the company. There will be some coaches that are called out. I've already called out a few coaches by name or by not blurring their face. And there are some that I'm not going to do that to. But by and large, I really want to focus on the company, because the things that these coaches are teaching in their training calls, in their Zoom calls, they're coming from the leaders at the top, and oftentimes the corporate team. I think that is one of my concerns with MLM. Anybody can be a leader, and just because you were the best at recruiting doesn't mean that you are a leader. It doesn't mean that you are going to be a good person to lead others. And oftentimes I feel like they lead others right off a cliff and into something that they had never imagined being involved in. I know for me, when I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And even now, when I look back at some of my old posts, I just think, oh, I can't believe I did that, or I can't believe I said that. But you truly do kind of lose a sense of self, and they almost justify all of their actions by, just keep up, it'll be worth it. So we are going to watch a training, and I can tell you right now it's going to be divided into two, because the training alone is 1 hour without my commentary. And I watched the first 10 minutes, and I have a lot of commentary, y'all. This was one of the most frustrating trainings that I have heard in a long time. So we are going to get started.
All right, guys. So welcome to the team call. My name is Farron Duran, and I'm so excited to be here. My subject is to talk about making connections. And so I'm going to make the chat here so we can kind of chat about it. So, Melanie, had brought this up to me, and then Stephanie brought this up and said, hey, this would be a great topic. We're kind of getting into the point now, like it's April, and so, kind of that, almost that mid-year thinking about like where we are in our business and then where we want to be. And so this is a great time to think about like making those connections. And so, I've been doing this for so long that I thought this would be a great topic. So, hey, everybody, see you guys popping on. To talk about. So, all right, so let's get this started. So if you guys can all comment, and then I can kind of know where we are right now of how long you have been in the business. So are you like a newbie? If you're like, I'm super new here, or maybe it's been like a year or 6 months. Newbie, yay, Tina, 4 years this summer, Irene, yay, third year, 6 months, 6 years with you, 1 year, okay, 4 years, okay, 3 years, okay. Awesome. Signed up almost 4 years ago. Okay. So this, you guys are feeling like, are any of you feeling like, okay, I don't have like the connection thing. You're wondering like, how do I keep making connections? How do I keep finding people? Okay. Awesome. Okay, good. And this is you. Yes. Tina's like, yes. Tina's like, I just started. I'm already like freaking out. Right. And honestly, that was like when I first started this business, I remember, like I got people to sign up, and like my first month, people started signing up, and then more people wanted to sign up, and I'd already hit Success Club, and I was like, no, I'm going to need you to wait, because I got to like span these out, because I'll never like, hit my numbers. And that was totally like a failure mindset. Like, why would I think?
They make it Just so you know, if you miss Success Club, it's because it's a failure mindset. No, that's not what it is. I sold a ton in my first few months because you have your warm market. You have the people who love you and will support you. So yeah, you kind of want to save those because who knows what's coming next. And it's kind of scary, especially when they are telling you you need to message a minimum of 10 people a day. 10 people a day. So you have to make connections with 300 people a month. That's a lot of people to make connections with.
Like that. But in my mind, I was like, I only know this. I know this many people, so I need this many people to sign up throughout the next couple of years of my business. So I totally changed my mindset. So give you a little bit of who I am. So I'm Farron Duran. I've been a coach for over 6 years now. I have 2 kids. I have a boy and a girl. I'm living in my like dream place right now. I live in South Carolina. I lived in Maryland my whole life. And then I came here actually because of Beachbody. We came here to see Rachel Hollis, came with Melanie and all these people that I only met because of Beachbody. Came here to South Carolina. I fell in love with it. And I texted my husband while I was here and I was like, why don't we live where we're like happiest? And I feel like I'm happy here. Like we'd never been, we didn't know anything about it. And we came home and he was like, why not? And we moved 28 days later. Like we moved, I flew here by myself. Didn't tell anybody what I was doing. I just flew here, like looked at, place that we were going to rent for a little bit and then flew back and then moved my whole family and we're like not looking back. So it's really cool. And that the thing is that Beachbody made this happen. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Beachbody. It was like the income.
So this is a total lifestyle and income claim. That it's like, well, don't you want the freedom to be able to just pick up and move? Don't you want the freedom to be able to do whatever you want to do? When the fact is that 99% of the Beachbody coaches are not making enough money to make this a reality. This isn't a reality for the bulk of people within Beachbody. It just isn't.
Having Beachbody that I knew that we could work anywhere. So my husband and I were like, we said, I'm also a CAT scan tech and I do that PRN. And we were like, we'll apply for jobs, but we know that we can live off of Beachbody, which was really freaking cool. But the other side of that is we moved all the way to South Carolina, away from everybody that we've ever known. We just knew we wanted to live by a beach and we wanted it to be warm. And pandemic happened 2 months after we moved. And so my husband, he was working remote and from Maryland, like he had a Maryland job. He was working remote, so money's good. I'm bringing in Beachbody money. Life is good. Pandemic happens. My husband gets furloughed, which is crazy because it's like a topic that I for a while, I didn't even tell my team. I was embarrassed. I couldn't believe this was happening. I cried in a Walmart parking lot for 4 hours. I was like, I'm going to divorce this guy. I'm going to work on OnlyFans. It's fine. And that's still up. I might still do that. Okay.
Okay, for real. So your husband gets furloughed and you think you may leave him? What? I don't understand. I don't understand this mindset.
But it was all this, but my husband and I sat down the next day after this happened and we were like, what if we can match my husband's full-time income with Beachbody? And I was like, what if you just help me do my emails and all the stuff so I have more time? What if we crush this business together? So we put our heads down, we did it, and we did it. So we matched it, and my husband was able to stay home with my kids. My kids haven't had a dad, in 9 years because he was always gone from 6:30 until 6 p.m. And so for the first time ever, my kids had a dad, and all the time. And so now they don't ever want to let him go. So it's really truly has been a blessing for my family. But I wanted to tell you guys that because the potential of this business is incredible. And when I first started this business, I had 300 followers or 300 friends on Facebook. I was the person that purposely didn't.
All right, so I was continually waiting to see when she was going to do a disclaimer, the income disclaimer that Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income, blah, 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 which she still hasn't done. I think it's super interesting, and I've been watching a lot of the top coaches. Most multi-level marketing companies encourage you to have your spouse quit their job. Why? Because then you are sucked in. You have no other options. You don't have the option of, do you know what? We'll live on your income. We'll make this work. They put all their eggs in a Beachbody basket. And that's scary. It's scary for so many reasons. Insurance, private insurance is expensive. And what if Beachbody, I don't know, what if here's just a crazy idea. What if their stock was to, devalue like 90%? Yeah, that happened. There's so many different aspects. You're putting everything in to this one thing, which is why I think most of the top coaches are diversifying their income streams. The number of them that have become life coaches is ridiculous. And I'm just saying I wouldn't choose some of them to be my life coach. And additionally, some are actually, they're affiliates for products that directly compete with Beachbody, which makes zero sense to me and totally goes against their policies and the procedures. Doesn't make sense.
And people like Jessica from high school that was like kind of not nice. I was like, I'm not going to friend that girl. And I was like, I was that person. I didn't have an Instagram. There was no such thing as like Snapchat when I started. TikTok was not a thing. So Facebook was it. And so to be here where I am, to think I just started at that, like that means wherever you are right now, you have so much more available to you and these connections. I'm going to teach you how to do that and get you excited about it. So, okay. So we know how many years in, so we have some newbies and we have some people that have been around for a while. And if you've been around for a while, I'm sure in the back of your head, you have that like freaking out moment. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to run out of people. So, and I asked you guys, like, if you felt like you had no one to talk to sometimes? Like, is anybody you feel like, shit, I have nobody to talk to? What am I going to do? Because I think we all kind of feel like that, but then we got to get ourselves out of it. So I'm going to drop some facts for you, okay? So I looked this up. So what we do, we're obviously in the healthcare business. I say healthcare, but like we're here to help people and help them in their fitness and their health and help them to love themselves.
You are not in the healthcare business, ma'am. I mean, she does actually. She said she's a CT tech. So, I mean, I guess she does work in healthcare. You don't work in healthcare. You work in sales. You're not in healthcare. You're in sales, ma'am, which that is the problem, is that most of them feel that they are in healthcare and then they start offering advice for things that they should not be offering advice for.
Here's the deal. Right now in the United States, there are over 70 million people that are obese. 70 million. So you could argue like, well, I can't talk to everybody because I don't talk to men. Okay, fine. I actually looked it up. It's exactly half and half. It's 35 million women are obese in the United States. Now, that's not just like overweight, right? Because they put these weird numbers on overweight, but obese, like this is clinically, they would go to the doctor and the doctor would say, you got to get your shit together. Like that means 35 million women could walk into a doctor's office tomorrow. They'd be like, you got to get your shit together. You're going to have knee problems. You have diabetes, high blood pressure. You need to get your health together. They start to get worried. 35 million. But wait, we don't only do the United States. We also do Canada. Now, Canada, they're a little bit smaller, but they have 8 million women that are obese. 8 million women that are obese, not even overweight. They're like full-on obese. 8 million. So right now, we're over 40 million women that you can talk to. But wait, we also go to the UK. Now, I couldn't find a number in one UK, but they said over 60% of everybody in the UK is obese. And actually, the UK is the most obese country in Western Europe. So, holy shit. I hope this, gets to, seeing these numbers and the amount of, obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, we have a problem to fix. And there is no shortage of people that need us right now. But if you want to go even further, I was like, you know what? If there's people that are okay, they're not obese, they're not overweight, but maybe they just don't feel good. They just don't feel good about themselves. Well, actually, it turns out 36% of Americans, and it's 90% of them are all women, are depressed. So, I mean, however many people that live, in the United States, billions, 36% of them are depressed. that are not loving themselves, that aren't happy, that have thoughts in their mind, whether it's postpartum depression or it's regular depression, 36%, like that's a humongous freaking number. So every time you look at your friends list or you look at these huge lists and you're like, I have nobody to talk to. I've got over 70 million people just in the US that want to talk to you alone, right?
That was pretty brave to say that 70 million people want to talk to you. I can guarantee that they don't. They don't want to talk to you. And it's interesting because they always would say this, even when I was there in the trainings, like, there are so many people out there who want to talk to you. Okay, but how do I find the people that want to talk to me? How do I find them? And they never give you specifics. It's always just, oh, go out and find the people. Well, what are you going to do? Are you going to look on Instagram and be like, ooh, that person looks like they may fit into the obese category. Let's talk to them. Like, what? And how many of the depression statistics, how many of them are already coaches? Because I can tell you a lot of their coaches have depression. From the groups I was in, a lot of them are already within Beachbody. And it's just, this is what I'm talking about. This is what is predatory. For her to say that she has 70 million people to talk to, ma'am, no. And you're counting anybody, I'm assuming, over the age of 18. If you approach, your 80-year-old grandma, I'm going to be pretty upset with you. Do not approach grandma into doing your scheme. But I wanted to talk a little bit too. This is where it gets into not just MLM, but diet culture overall. They're going based on the BMI when they do these, and I'm going to pull up some information. When they do these statistics, they're going based on the BMI. And the BMI is not okay. It's not okay. The BMI doesn't look at muscle. It doesn't look at fat percentage. It doesn't look at your bone density. So, I mean, if you really look at it, like Dwayne Johnson would probably be considered obese because of, if you're just going to go by sheer weight, no. So BMI is calculated, it's your weight in kilograms divided by your height in meters squared. It was actually created, so I did some research on this, and I would highly recommend, there's a podcast called Maintenance Phase, and they have a whole episode on BMI and what a joke it is. So a lot of this is coming from their podcast. I can't even recommend it enough. But it was created in Belgium, 1796. A man named Adolphe Coutelier. He was working on statistics and astronomy. Was he a doctor? No, he wasn't. And he wanted basically to put Belgium on the academic map. So he got any data sets that he could to look for looking for social laws or social norms that you could do. They wanted to try and measure acts of courage and heroism, cowardice and malice. So they had to look at state-provided statistics. The idealized average man is the center of the bell curve. And they want it to be a more homogeneous society. Here's the problem. They got the height and weight statistics from France and Scotland. They got white males. That's it. They plotted it out, and that became the BMI. What? And he said specifically it should not be used on individuals or for medical care. Then it was taken up by eugenics, which firmly believes that some humans are superior to others. They encourage breeding by superior people and discourage breeding by people considered inferior, and have forced sterilization. So Galton, I don't know if I'm saying that right, built upon that data, and he thought that the average is actually bad. We don't want to be average. We want to be above average. So in 1867 was the first time an insurance company started using BMI, and they used it strictly to charge customers more. MetLife did a table in 1942. And it was kind of like, what should we have it be? Because we want to charge what we want to charge. And they changed it. Again, it's based largely on white men. There were really no consistencies, but for some reason, some doctors started using it. And they wanted the consistency, so they created it in. the standard BMI, as we know it today, was more created by Ansel Keys. And he was very fat phobic. And Ansel Keys wanted to look for ways to measure body fat, and he wanted it to be most cost effective for doctors. He didn't want them to have to do DEXA scans. DEXA scans are expensive to look at your body fat percentage versus muscle, bone density, all of that. That's expensive. And so he took 7,500 men from 5 countries: US, Italy, Spain, South Africa, and Japan. But he decided not to use the data from South Africa. Okay. He tried several different methods, and the BMI was right about half of the time. And it was the best of the worst. Does that mean it's a good measure? No. It is correct about half of the time, and that was confirmed by a study in 2011. So and they keep changing it. So the overweight cutoff was 27.8% for men. Now it is 25%. So they, I believe Michael, who's one of the hosts, sorry, I just hit my knee on the table. Michael, who's one of the hosts, said, in 1970, I could have weighed 190 pounds and not been considered obese. But now I can only weigh 170 pounds and not be considered obese. So this is where the diet culture mentality comes in. And these coaches are products of diet culture. They are firmly entrenched. No matter what their trainers may say, that they're like, we just do healthy living. No, you don't. No, you don't. And you are teaching people, do you know what? Go out and prey on people who are going to be most vulnerable. So people who are depressed, yes, 36% of people, go find those people. People who may not be happy in their bodies, go find those people. So they teach you to prey on the most vulnerable. This just infuriated me. Oh, and this was, I want to say the first time I saw this call was, the Instagram handle is lifeandstuff00. Amazing. So I'll include their information in the show notes. But this is not accurate, nor is it realistic to tell people that they have 70 million people to talk to.
Like those, it's 1 in 3 people. That's I just posted that. That is insane. So if you can remind yourself, there's no shortage of people that need you, and there's no shortage of people to talk to, right? That's something we put in our head. And I know that is just like a self-limiting belief, and it's easy to go there, right? That's the easiest way to quit. I have heard so many people quit. Oh, I didn't have anyone to talk to. This business didn't work for me. Whenever you ever hear, I swear to God, you guys ever hear of someone jumping ship to another business and they say this business didn't work for them? They didn't work for them. They didn't show up. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you want to sell nail polish. I don't care if you want to sell Tupperware, right? You can do anything. It's going to be hustle and drive and finding people that need it, right? It's going to be hard to find people that can sell Tupperware.
Okay. Again, this is where, it's a self-limiting belief if you believe that you've run out of people to talk to. No, it may just be cognitive dissonance, and you're saying, do you know what? I don't have people that I can personally talk to that I know want me. And so instead, I'm out there cold messaging people, and I'm preying on vulnerable people. And this feels gross, and I don't want to do it anymore. Good on you. I'm saying that makes you an ethical, moral person. If you're saying, no, just find more victims, basically, that is not okay. That is not okay. And the fact that they're telling you that if you can't find people, it's your fault. No, ma'am. No. Because your last income disclosure, I thought I had it around. I have it right here. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have some good things coming up on the income disclosures too, just so you know. I am looking at the 2018, and then this is the latest one. Is that they changed quite a bit of it, just so you know. But they've changed quite a bit of it, and the average of all ranks, how much you're going to earn in a year, $3,169. And I believe based on their new supplements that they have, you're going to be paying around $500 or so if you're truly buying all the supplements that they want you to buy. So So you're spending $6,000 to make $3,000. Your math isn't mathing right now.
But like who want like to buy expensive Tupperware, but people who need think about all that you offer right now. I want you to you've got to boost yourself up a little bit and say, holy shit, when you really think about it, what I do is amazing. You give people community, you give people workouts, and they get motivation. They get a free shirt when they finish a workout. They get
Ooh, a free shirt. You mean this eating disorder is going to come with a free shirt? Yes, sign me up.
Access to recipes and meal plans and everything they've ever needed to get to the goals that they want, mentally and physically. There's people that need you, and you literally could save someone's life by a simple freaking message. Kat said, and Beachbody is so much more than any other company. It is such an incredible, life-changing place for people. I totally agree.
I totally agree. It definitely changed my life in a lot of ways. You do get things when you join Beachbody. You get a community who is transactional and who will drop you the second you don't bring them money. You will get some fairly good workouts that you can find comparable ones for free on YouTube. She was talking about food plans and recipes. Those are everywhere, my dear. No, I don't need to join your cult, in my opinion, to get that. I don't need that. And you drive disordered eating. And we'll see exactly how that is the case based on all of your coaches before and afters for every single program.
At my friend Ashley Caskell is on here, and she's been my coach since from the beginning. And we go to every single, we've been to every summit. We go to every time Carl talks, and we say every time we freaking fall in love with our CEO, because he's always been just help somebody. People actually need you. And we are the only company that does all three, that does the fitness, the nutrition, and I love Uncle Carl, and the support, and then the support, the community, right? So remember that what you do is awesome, right? I know there's other stuff, right?
Wow, why would Carl want you to do that? Oh, could it be money? Of course. Uncle Carl. How culty are you? You call him Uncle Carl? What? Oh.
There's fat blasting shit that people are drinking and stuff, and that's great and all, but that's not, we teach people how you get stuck in an island, you'll still stay fine as hell in that island, because we taught you everything you need to know, right? But you give somebody some fat blaster spoonful of thing, and they're stuck on this island, they're well, now I'm screwed because I don't have my fat blasters.
Yeah, because heaven knows if I'm stuck on an island, I'm going to be worried about being hot. No, I think I'd just be more worried about survival at that point. And you would eat whatever you needed to in order to survive. And that is just called basic skills. You're not oh my gosh, you guys, what would they do if they didn't have their Fix-It containers? If they didn't have the Ultimate Portion Fix containers with them? How would any of these women know how to eat? What about their Shakeology and their Energize and their Recover? I'm sorry, ma'am, but me knowing how to eat in the normal world is much more helpful than the crap that you are trying to get people to eat.
What am I going to do? Right? We really teach people the best of the best here. So it's not great. So we have to get really confident in what you do. So that's the biggest part of how do I build connections? How am I going to do this? One, it's going to take, you have to have some confidence. And so I remember when I first, when I first went elite and had probably one of my most amazing years in the business, and it was just a confidence year. What I did is I wrote on, I had my computer, and it was next to a wall. Now I can see everybody. I like seeing it when my kids come in. I'm or my husband, don't come, they will not come behind this desk. Do not come behind this desk. You don't know what I'm doing here. So I might be on OnlyFans. I'm not sure. I'm just teasing. I always joke about that because I'm my husband's if we ever, I'll just take pictures of fans, only fans. And I was it'd be great. It'd be so funny. But what I did is I had my computer, and right next to it on the wall, I wrote, everybody deserves to feel this good. And I put it there, and I would literally sit like this before I went to go do my messages. Every single, I've been consistent for the last 6 years. And every single time I came up to my computer, I would look at that, and I would say, everybody deserves to feel this good. And I would think of that in both coaching, and I would think of that both in with fitness. Everybody deserves this feeling. The feeling I get when I'm with my coaches and we're hanging out, and I'm just like loving on them, and they're like, I'm just like, with any of you, we all get together as a team, I feel so freaking good. I feel like, how in the hell did I ever get through life without these incredible women?
And you do feel really good. That's called love bombing. They are pouring into you and pouring onto you so that you are not seeing the reality. You're not seeing that they are only doing this because you are making them money. Because as soon as you're not making them money, they block you. You are blocked and deleted. You're gone. You are gone. So when you say, how did I get through this community without this community? Guess what? You can do it. Because otherwise you're going to be paying, I don't know, $500 a month to be a part of that community.
Everybody deserves that. Or like when I feel healthy and confident and I can jump in the pool with my daughter and not give a shit who's around. Like every mom deserves to feel that. Every mom deserves to feel like good.
But they're saying you can only feel that if you lose weight. And that is not true. That isn't true. They're saying if you get this, being on the deserted island and having a smoking hot body, they're saying that that's the only way that you can feel confident. And that is not true. They are preaching disordered behaviors. I'm just saying, you guys, I've already talked for 31 minutes and I'm 13 minutes into the call. Stick with me for a few more minutes.
Woman deserves to feel that. And so if you can tell yourself that before you go into your connections, before you go into your business, like you gotta, like, that's my tip, putting something up, something that motivates you, something that you need to see, like, because you're going to feel nervous when you go to message people. You're going to be like, oh shit, like, what are they thinking of me? Like, I am like really weird about people from high school. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm like, are they going to think I'm weird or whatever? I was really weird like that in the beginning. But now I'm like,
I got recruited from someone in high school that I was kind of friends with, but not really. It happens.
Holy crap, like what I do is incredible and I love to be a part of their lives, and I just have to take myself out of that situation and just be super positive. So one of the things that like drives me nuts though is people will say, like, Farron, I messaged like, you're trying to hit Success Club, you're in the last couple days, and then you say to your coach, I don't know what to do, I've messaged everybody. You messaged everybody. 70 million people. You message, holy shit, your list must be crazy. Your message, you must have been like the crazy cat. Like, how did you do it? Like, no, you didn't. Or when people are like, I message everybody on my friends list. And then I go, like, you have 1,000 friends. You messaged 1,000 friends. 1,000 people.
No, I'm not going to message my uncles. I'm not going to message my aunts. I'm not going to message my grandma or her friends who are on Facebook. And I'm also not going to just go find people on hashtags, on different things, and just be like, hey, you look like you could use a health and wellness journey. What? And that is what she's telling you to do. And otherwise, you're just making excuses. No, ma'am, that is not how this works. Oh, all right, I need a minute. So I think this will be part 1. This may end up being a 4-part video to get through this 1-hour training, you guys. Because this is ridiculous and it's got to stop. And these coaches have got to see how predatory they are. The other nice part though, I mean, she's giving me a lot of things for lifestyle claims and income claims to submit in my comments to the FTC. So I would highly recommend, if you have not done that yet, you have about 1 week in order to submit claims to the FTC to ask that these predatory business practices be more open and honest in their the information that they give people who are going to potentially join. They cannot be as deceptive as they are right now. Whew. All right. I will see you guys in part 2.